All right, it says we are live. What's good, y'all? Elite Live Streams. We back again with another one. What's good, J Rock? Happy birthday, my boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, man. I'm back again. We're gonna do another one. You know, keeping the consistency going, keeping it up there. And I think this is a real interesting one. Rather odd. So
yeah, this one's. I think we'll categorize this one in like the mystery, true crime, type of. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know what you call it.
You know what I'm saying? Racism, Sundown Town, very weird, mysterious things that happened in a very weird place. And so we wanted to cover this story because we've seen it kind of coming across the timeline. And we want to kind of talk about it and see what's going on. So we're going to pull this up real quick for you guys. This is just kind of the initial news story, but I mean, to catch you guys up, this basically were these two young twins that were in this town in Georgia. Apparently they were found at the top of a mountain, unalived. And so apparently there was a ruling that came down, and you know they're saying that these kids were just unaliving themselves, and there's no foul play. So I mean, initially, what do you think about that, Jay?
I personally just can't see twin brothers, one shooting the other and then shooting himself. You know, after like. So it's like I killed my brother and then I offed myself as well.
Yeah, like
we're on top of a mountain
and we're
twins and in
a very mysterious town.
Town.
The history of like racism and very like weird activity and things that were going on.
I just can't picture it. B. I don't understand it. There's no way on earth that happened.
Like there's no
investigation.
Yeah. I mean, this is where we're at. This is what it says, So now we're kind of in this mode where now we kind of have to figure out what's going on. So we're gonna pull up this news news report real quick for you guys. The actual report. This is a Fox 5 News Atlanta. All right, so here we go.
The twin brothers who died in Towns County last month say they do not agree with the GBI's ruling that the twins took their own lives.
The bodies of Qadir and Nazir Lewis were found at the mountain in Towns County, about 90 minutes from their home in Lawrenceville. Fox 5's Christopher King is live in Alpharetta after speaking with the twins' aunts. Christopher?
Courtney, Russ, they say the twins had no reason to take their own lives, and they had no reason to be at Bell Mountain. And they still believe the twins were victims of foul play.
All right. So right off top, it's kind of making it clear that the family does not agree with kind of what the ruling has come down about this, and so now we kind of have to start buckling down and saying, okay, well, if the family doesn't agree, then what do you think happened, right? What do you think, Jay? Just off the initial report of what they're saying,
just based on the initial report and based on what. How we watched it prior to starting the pod. I'm gonna say there's no way, bro, that them kids ended up on top of a mountain, right, dead, 40 miles from where they are actually from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it sounds like somebody killed them and took them there to make it look like it.
Yes.
This is what it sounds like. Now, why it's not being investigated like that is ridiculous to me. But it sounds, I'm just gonna give you how it sounded to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It sounds like somebody killed them and took them there and put them there to make it look a certain way.
We might be looking at some foul play.
And that's,
course,
I mean, that's
and their parents are, they have more than enough of their own, thoughts to make it seem like they know their children. Nobody knows their children like their parents. So let's continue with this.
Just saying,
news.
What it sounds like to me.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Depressing.
Samira Bronner struggles to accept the deaths of her twin nephews.
It feels like a nightmare.
Back in March, the bodies of brothers Kadir and Nazir Lewis were found on Bell Mountain in Towns County. Authorities initially called it a murder-suicide, but the GBI on Wednesday ruled both men died by suicide.
No, it doesn't make no sense.
Samira says the 19-year-olds were in college. They were outgoing and happy. She does not believe they'd take their own lives.
All right, so I mean, you got some foul play here already, right? Where they're saying that like they basically unalived themselves.
That doesn't even like
at the top of a mountain in a very remote area that
40 miles
they've
from
never been
That's
in their lives.
crazy. There's no way.
I don't know, man. That sounds sketchy to me, bro.
There's just no way, bro.
I mean,
I'm gonna just say there's no way.
Off top, that just sounds crazy. Like, sounds insane.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And my thing is like, that's something that you like. If it doesn't, you investigate.
Right.
I feel like it deserves more of an investigation than you give me.
Yeah, not to just say, oh, okay.
Yeah, they unalive each other and or themselves, and yeah, at the top of the mountain, and yeah, that's how it went. Like, how do show me the evidence? Tell me something. More than just
give me some like maybe some data. If maybe they were going through like a deep depression,
give me
something like really tragic happened in their lives.
You gotta give me something.
And then then it initially kind of came into where we're at right now. But they're not doing that. Yeah, I don't hear that at all. I hear kind of
a weird conclusion. We're just gonna go straight to this is what happened. It's like, how do you come on, man?
All right, so let's continue with the family. Let's see what they got to say.
Both of them was funny. They loved spending time with family.
A hiker discovered their bodies on Bell Mountain. That's about 90 minutes from their home in Lawrenceville. Samira.
All right, so that's key as well. 90 minutes away from their home of where they usually live, where they usually
do everything
are. Yes, so. That's a minute, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, somebody. All right, so let's see. We got a comment that just came through. ADT, salute to you, brother. He says those boys were murdered. Yes, I mean it's definitely not looking like it's good, man. I'll say that much, bro.
It's a cover up. It's a cover up.
There's something going on for sure, because if you're saying that this is a 90-minute,
that's
like drive away from where they are, and then they're here now, boom. Nah, that's a minute, bro. That's like us going from Long Beach to Corona. 90 minutes, that's an hour and 30 minutes. That's like almost to Palm Desert. You feel me? I go to Palm Springs, and then we go to like the most remote part of Palm Springs, like in the mountains, and then we unalive each other.
That doesn't. That's a long drive. You know what I mean?
Adding up, my boy. I don't know, man. I mean, of course, like we can say what we have to say, but to go out of your way to, make it seem like, this was kind of, them just taking it upon themselves. Something ain't right, man. So let's continue. Let's see.
Says they had no reason to be there.
Never been to Bell Mountain.
The GBI issued a statement, quote, based on the results of the medical examiner's autopsy and other investigative findings, their deaths have been ruled suicide. The agency says cell phone data establishes a timeline from their home in Gwinnett County to Bell.
Are you shitting me? You gotta be shitting me, bro.
Suicide.
I've never heard that.
I've never heard that in my life.
I don't think I've ever heard
unalive, YouTube gets weird, that type of stuff.
But
yes, this is insane, just from the outset. Like,
I don't know.
How do you know that? You don't know that. Like,
if that's what you're gonna rule it as, there's no way that you know that based on the autopsy. You can't. I don't feel you could.
And let's also understand that like they can control the information, so they can say or do whatever they want. They don't have to like say
necessarily say
what was the truth.
They can
create whatever they want to create, whatever narrative they feel like creating, and then bang, like now you have like all this. Oh, it was unalive. Like, yeah, right.
That makes no sense, man.
What?
You can't. I don't see how they make it make sense. I would like to really ask the person, the autopsy person, like, how did you come to that conclusion? You know, like, oh yeah, it had to be this, and then you send it to the.
But where? Yes, I'm saying, where was the maybe
crazy.
can you give us some like timeline? Maybe there was like some,
how did it get?
like oh, they were depressed for a couple of months and they started I saw changes in their attitudes or like something to where it's like tangible, so we could have something to go off of where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The family's not saying that. They're not saying anything like that.
They're saying that they were in good spirits. These were good kids who were about to go off to college. Come on, man. They could put it on their hands too.
Yeah.
Let's not, you know what I'm saying? Let's not forget that this is, this is an encapsulation.
Once they're dead. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
like,
you just rub some stuff on their hand, do what you got to do. Autopsy, you can control the information and how it gets out to the media.
To the people.
And now we're in this situation where it's like, oh, case closed.
This is the conclusion. We concluded that this is a suicide, or unalive.
It's a mystery.
And surveillance video shows no one else was with them.
GBI told us that they was not able to ping their location 30 minutes before reaching the mountains.
The family says surveillance video showed the twins at this gas station on Hurricane Shoals Road in Lawrenceville the night they died. Sabria Bonner says the twins did not seem to act out of the ordinary.
Foul play was definitely involved.
You know what I'm saying? Like, show the video of them there.
Yeah, we need to rectify this, bro, because if you guys are saying this is what happened, like, all right, well, tell us then. Like, we want to see it, bro.
Show me the video of them at that gas station, bro. 30 minutes before they.
Help me understand, because the history, at least of this place, is not adding up. And then as well, now you have corroborating things. People are saying that there's nothing wrong with these kids. Okay, and then as well, their location for the ping of the cell phone dies 30 minutes before. Come on, man, we need some help with understanding how this is happening, because I agree with this young lady who's saying that this is some foul play, man. This ain't regular, bro.
It can't not be foul. It's something happened more than just, oh yeah, we're in the mountains, our phones die, and we apparently kill each other. Cause I just can't. Yeah. I don't know.
Make it make sense.
I just don't.
You gotta make it make sense, because if it's not making sense,
I just don't see it.
We have to ask the questions, because that's the point of having, a platform and doing what you're supposed to do, is raising awareness about things that just don't make sense, like these type of stories that mainstream media is not talking about and just trying to bury it, because of course when a black body is lost, nobody cares, man.
Right.
So let's continue. Here we go.
Sabria says none of the findings in the report add up to the nephews she knew. She believes they were victims of something sinister.
I feel like it was murder.
Now, the GBI also says Nazir had ammunition for a gun delivered days before their deaths, and internet history showed searches for how to load a gun. We'll tell you more about that at 11, and the family's reaction as well.
I mean, honestly, what does that have to do with this, though? That's, but that's the fodder that the media will use, and also the police department in conjunction with each other to make it seem like they were, trying to do something to themselves. When, like, is it illegal to have a gun in Georgia? I don't think so. I don't see what the issue is, yo. What you think about that, Jay?
I just think they're trying to string together the story to cover up the murder. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, they're just stringing things together, trying to say certain shit that has no bearing on the fact that these kids were murdered, bro.
Man.
They were murdered, taken to that remote location, and dumped to make it look a certain way. That's who I've come.
Yeah, so now I guess that leads into kind of this space where we're now gonna show or share some content that we got from a brother who I enjoy his content. His name's Introvert Rockstar. Salute to him. He has a good channel over there, and he kind of does like a nice encapsulation of just kind of what's going on the social media tip, and then as well just kind of the history of this Sundown Town in this place. So I'm gonna bring up his video right now, just so you guys can kind of get a little bit of commentary from him, just kind of him following the story as well very closely. So yeah, let's hear it.
I really don't care what the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, says regarding the dual unaliving of Khaidir and Nazir Lewis, the twin young men that were found unalive atop of Bell Mountain, and I think it was Hiawassee, Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. And they said that they found video footage, if I'm not mistaken. They said that they found that one of them had purchased a UN. They said that, you know, they had internet searches that they had looked up on how to load it and things like that. I feel like those type of things would have come out. Like, it's been over 2 months ago when that happened. And I know that it does take time. I would think that, especially in something like that, that it would be kind of like top priority. And I feel like phone records and things like that would have been the first things that they would have, you know, checked. So,
and that's facts, you know, like it's all just fodder to make it seem like, you know, like
they're basically telling the story of what happened to them after the fact. You know what I'm saying?
Right. 2 months later.
Yeah, it's
like
not the initial search and all of those things. They did that after the fact. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so now
2 months is a long time.
Yeah, man. So now they're putting this out there because, of course, like I said, they need something to kind of divert from the fact that they're just gonna like let this story just die. So they needed to seem like, oh yeah, you know, this is just what happened. So whatever, you know. So let's continue with this. Let me go ahead and play it.
I am not of the belief that happened, and I hope that the parents, I don't know if they still were in it, because I know before, like, the parents were wanting to get an outside and independent you know, somebody to look at it, which I'm still hoping that that's what they're waiting on, and that they really do have that done, because I even thought that they said they didn't find, you know, the weapon at the scene. So I'm even confused about that, unless I'm just misremembering some facts. But
that statement was crazy.
And look, y'all already know on this channel we hold racist Caucasian people accountable, because if we don't, who will?
That's crazy, bro.
Hey, man.
No weapon at the scene is wild.
This is what I said. This is what we're dealing with here. It's just like, okay, so if the facts remain, then why is nothing adding up then?
Right.
If there's no...
How are you closing this? How are you coming to this conclusion and closing this case with looming statements like that? Where it's like,
ADT, you riding with us, man. Weapon at the scene is crazy.
That's a wild.
Crazy. Like,
that's wild.
It's crazy. And so I think that's the point, is like, okay, so what? Then we're gonna be riding with kind of these narratives of, okay, so there's no weapon at the scene, but there's two bodies here, and they're both here. Unalived each other? How?
With what?
With
weapon?
No weapon?
That makes. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on now.
Sounds a little sketchy to me. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
That's
very weird behavior, and just, you know, kind of part of the course for some racist ass town.
If you really want to start getting, you know,
getting like, come on, man. So let's continue with this, dog. This gets crazy.
Before I start this video, if you don't like black people, black issues, black talks, get to stepping. Hiawassee, Georgia was a sundown town, specifically referring to Forsyth County, which included the town of Hiawassee. While Hiawassee was the county seat, the county as a whole had a reputation for violence and intimidation against black residents, particularly after nightfall. There is no direct evidence of sundown signs being posted in the town itself, but Forsyth County, including Hiawassee, is widely recognized as one of the most notorious sundown communities in Georgia. Make that make sense. And I have
there it goes. That's exactly why I wanted to bring this video up for you guys, because this is real shit.
That's a real thing.
This is documentation, man. You know, there's history to this place of like whatever Sundown Town rules that go on there. And of course, I think it's important to feature or to talk about the history of these places, because that is playing a part with where we're at right now, where it's like, okay, yeah, now there's like some real shit going on.
This is the foundation. This is the foundation of some of the stuff that's still happening today. You know what I mean?
Literally.
A sundown, that's you telling me after the sun, when the sun goes down,
you gotta get the fuck out of there.
If you're not white, you shouldn't be there.
It's gonna be tough.
Something's gonna happen,
which is insane,
right? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, like who are you guys like serious, bro? Like we're really in a place where you can't you will literally have to hide or get out of a certain place. What about people who want to travel, man? People want to drive through the countryside, bro. They can't drive through at night is insane just because they're black, bro. It's like wild.
And if they choose to, something wild is probably gonna happen.
Bro, we're here literally here in 2025 talking about a story of two twins who mysteriously showed up on the top of a mountain in Georgia unalive.
And nobody knows anything. It's just case closed. They did it to themselves.
All right, ADT is pretty active in the chat. They say a great book on the history of this tragic reality, Sundown Town, a hidden dimension of American racism, by James W. Lowen. Yes, salute to you, ADT, for the plug. Yeah, man, and I think it's important as well, just for people. Like, there's also the blacklist as well, which is basically a map, right, of places for black people where you should not go. And it's a very, I think it's still relevant till today.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
I think at this point, black folks in general just need to start being more proactive about, just not going to these places, man. If that's how you're gonna be, like, bro, I'm not trying to be a part of that, dog. Where I gotta look over my shoulder because some white person just sees a brown person. You mad, bro?
You tripping? You're not supposed to be here,
bro. What?
Seriously.
Come on. All right, so let's continue.
To keep it 100, outside of Atlanta, Decatur, Clayton County, Georgia is a sundown state. Tell me I'm lying, especially since this happened. It's really a sundown. And look, I don't trust the GBI or the FBI. They all on the same team. But wait, I may be tripping. Y'all let me know if this shit makes sense. Run a tape.
And the mysterious deaths of twin brothers from Gwinnett County found on Bell Mountain.
So this is the case that's grabbed national attention from the arrest of a firefighter accused of leaking a crime scene photograph to the twins' family, pushing back against the GBI's initial ruling of their death in weeks.
And there's an old saying, if it looks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, then it must be a duck. These people are playing in our faces every single day. You can't tell me that two young black men, twin brothers, drove to a sundown town, climbed up the mountain, and deleted themselves. I'm not going for it.
All right, that's it right there. Like, really, like, they're just gonna go out of their way to go to a sundown town to unalive themselves out of nowhere, bro. Like, what sense does that make?
That makes no sense at all. Why would they even be there? They're more aware than we are. We're just hearing the story. They know where to go and where not to go.
Right.
In that state. So why would they go?
To unalive themselves, bro, just for no reason, dog. Just to go out of their way.
It's wild.
Like, which is insane to think about. But on top of that, like you said, like, just from the logical standpoint, like, what sense would that make? Like, just from being young, like, what?
Whatever.
Going to college, like, you have all these plans. And then today is the day I just decide that me and my brother, we gonna
can't be it.
We gonna call it, bro. It's over. It's over, man. So yeah, let's continue, bro, because he's going in right now.
Now I said, wait, through all this chaos and confusion, where's this dude, Scott Curlin? Scott Curlin has been accused of interfering in the investigation into the deaths of 19-year-old brothers Quador Malik Lewis and Azur Raheem Lewis. Curlin of Hiawassee is a volunteer firefighter in Towns County. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said March 18th that the 42-year-old shared the gruesome photos of the death scene of the twins with the public. Curlin was charged with misdemeanor obstruction. He was also removed from his duty for violating department protocol. Make sense.
All right.
That's
So
why.
this is
not enough.
this, in my
you know?
opinion, is the
Not
prime suspect right here. This man,
That's crazy.
he was caught tampering with evidence. He was sharing pictures of these young boys among the firefighters and police department circles. So you cannot tell me that there's some foul play here when the prime suspect is a part of that first responder, law enforcement.
If that's what come on, bro. Firefighter? Why would a firefighter be the first to the scene? You know what I'm saying? The firefighter is the first to the scene?
How would he know? How would he know where the bodies were?
And you're trying to use that as
You feel me?
like,
Taking pictures and sharing pictures across
man.
your little platforms and circles. That sounds sketchy to me.
Super sketchy.
And so I think that plays a part here. So let's continue, man, because this is an interesting turn in the story.
Where is Scott Curley? See, look, he can't just get off this easy. You can't just go around sharing pictures of dead people. I don't care what race they is, because guess what? If it was me, if I took pictures of 2 Caucasian people, what you think would happen to me? My bond would be $400K. I would be on house arrest. My mugshot will be everywhere. It'll be on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Tell me I'm lying. And then I say, wait. Let me go read some comments from TikTok of this updated story about the twins.
All right, so look, that's true. You know, there's a hypocrisy here that's going on where this guy is able to do this and no one's making a big deal about it.
And the sick part is the actual story on the news doesn't even label him as a suspect or anything. Right? He's not even mentioned. Actually, that's the crazy part. It's like he's not even being mentioned right on the actual news. Wow.
Meaning he already. This of course happened a couple months ago, but meaning that he has already been misdemeanor charged, misdemeanor for this tampering with someone's dead body, bro. Taking pictures of it and sharing it, dog. How crazy is that, man? But guess what? The family is definitely entitled to a bag because guess what? They did that to Kobe, and Vanessa got a bag. Right. All right. A bag, bro, because the sheriff was being messy. And so, yeah, I think the family should sue the police department off top. You feel me? They sue this guy. You feel me? Let's get this bag up, and then we coming for all that, bro. We opening up another investigation.
A real investigation.
Straight up, we running up the awareness on the story because this is some nasty work, bro.
It's pretty wild.
Check this shit out. And the first person is V. She said, another Kendrick Johnson. Then the next one is the real cool mom, Judy. She said, I'm from here and it's a Sundown Town. This isn't the first suspicious incident here. I still don't believe it. Make that make sense. And V is right.
All right, so they're already coming out with examples of these things happening in the past.
This isn't the first rodeo right here.
You feel me?
So this happens.
Right. So
sounds like kind of often, B.
Yeah, man. I think he's on to something here. So let's continue.
She's right. A lot of y'all remember this case. It happened in Georgia also. I told y'all, Georgia, for the most part, I'm going to say 95% is a sundown state. And tell me I'm lying, because the GBI had all the proof. They had all the evidence of who done this to Kendrick, and they still said this. Check this out. The GBI initially ruled the death of Kendrick Johnson, a Georgia high school student found in a rolled up wrestling mat, as an accidental death due to positional asphyxiation. The GBI's autopsy reports stated no significant injuries were found, and the cause of death was determined to be positional asphyxiation. All
right, so history repeats itself, right? That's what we're seeing here now, is history repeating itself, where there was a situation with a young black boy. He mysteriously ends up unalived. They rule it as an accidental asphyxiation,
which is wild,
which is insane, you know, because basically that means he got strangled,
and or he tried to hang, or he hung himself. That's basically what they're trying to say.
And so now another case in Georgia again, and so this guy, these two twins, okay, double unalive each other
on top of a mountain, bro. There's no way.
Bro, my brain hurts just
There's
like
no way.
the yeah, it just doesn't make sense, bro. And so let's continue because he's got more on this.
However, Johnson's family has disputed this finding and believes foul play was involved. Make sense. So you see the games they play, you see the lies they tell right in our faces. See, I don't trust none of these people. They all on the same team. The FBI, the GBI, the coroner, the cops, the whole goddamn community. They all on the same team. Then I said, wait, the real cool mom with her comment, she said something so important. She said, this is not the first time something like this has happened in this county. This is what she meant. Run the tape.
This is Trevante Jamal Helton. On Wednesday, February 21st, his body was found hanging from a tree at Hosho's Falls, located in Swallow Creek Wildlife Management Park in Towns County, Georgia. Hiker found his body, alerted authorities, and the Georgia Bureau of Investigations was called in to help assist in finding out what happened to Trevante. The GBI is saying that an initial investigation has found that his death seems to be an isolated incident. We are all awaiting anxiously for the results of an autopsy and more information to be shared around the circumstances that could have possibly led to this man's loss.
Why is it taking so long? You know what I'm saying?
Man, there it is.
Why is it taking so long?
This is something that's happened before, and in the same exact town, they're saying in that county, this is another case where that happened.
That's crazy. I'm just trying to figure out how it's taking so long for them to get these reports together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. I mean,
it's like, I know an autopsy don't take that fucking long, bro. You know what I mean?
Especially when they're saying it's open shut case, just like that.
It's like boom, boom. Like, come on, bro.
Look, man, we're gonna keep an eye on this story because this is super interesting, and this is kind of like right up our alley as far as like, you know, just kind of the very weird circumstances that surrounded this type of situation. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna come back in a little bit, but as far as like final thoughts on this one, Jay, what you got, man?
I'm just at a point where, you know, granted we don't live there in that state particularly, which is all right, but the fact that this kind of news is reaching us, we gotta all be a little bit more aware of these kind of things, you know what I mean? And just push the awareness to those type of things. Like when you hear something as wild as this is, and it's to the point where, you know, the racism is beaming through the whole story. We gotta just kind of keep the verbiage with each other and talk to others about, tell people about this story. You know what I mean? When you hear it,
right?
Because racism is still going on to the point where like they're trying to kill us, or actually killing us and covering it up. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what this looks like.
They're killing us and then covering it up. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the awareness got to be there. We got to just keep raising awareness about these kinds of stories, man. There's no way.
They running them up.
They're just there. Right in our face.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say, but I think, you know, for this one, it's been a really interesting information for it all to come out now. So for this story, and also I want to do an update on the Henry Linton story about the brother whose house got broken into and he killed them TikTokers. Right. We're gonna come back on that one too, because I had a great response on YouTube for that as well. So yeah, we'll be right back. We'll highlight you guys. Good looking for all the support so far, and salute to the chat.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
see y'all. Peace.